Today I'm going to talk about Illuminate Education. It's a new program my school just purchased, and we actually were just trained on it a few weeks ago. The goal is to start doing all of our assessments through this program. What it does is it has all the students' personal information. It has their state test reports and their STAR test results. And then once we do our assessments through this for each class, it'll have all that information stored. So it's kind of a place to have all of a student's data in one place so you can easily access it. So you can do big tests through this by creating answer keys and running the answer keys through, and then you grade the short answer. But they also have something called an on-the-fly assessment, which I'm going to show you today, which I find to be really useful in classes, especially for a quick warm-up. And the kids actually enjoy doing it too. So for an on-the-fly assessment, what you're going to do is you're going to click on Assessments and Print Answer Sheets. You're going to click on Print Pre-Slugged. You can choose what dates of the roster you want to look at. You can choose what class you want to print them for. And then you change the number of questions. So for this case, I'm going to change it to 5 because I want to just use it as a quick warm-up. And I'm going to hit Generate. What's going to happen, our individual answer sheets are going to appear for each student. It does have their name on it, but I blurred that out for this case. But each answer sheet is individual for the student. And what a teacher can do is either laminate these and have the students hold on to them and have them fill it out with dry erase marker each time, or a teacher can print them out each time they do an on-the-fly assessment. It's whatever works for them. So it just gives you all the answer documents for your students. So the next step for the teacher is to create the assessment. So in this case, I made a 5-question warm-up on the scientific method for my 5th graders. Now I'm going to go back into the program. I'm going to click on Assessments and Create New Assessment. I'm going to click On the Fly, and I'm going to type in 5 questions because that's how many my warm-up has. All right, so once you get to this page, the next step is to type in the answer key. That way it can self-grade. So in this case, the answers are B, A, C, D, and A. So the next thing to do is click on Scan Student Responses and click on Student if you want the students to grade their own. So what the student can do is come up with their paper once they have it answered, hold it in front of the computer so that the document camera can read it, or the camera on your computer, and it pops up the student's name and the score that they got. So then the student just hits student and their score disappears, and the next student can come up and they have to hold it in front of the screen, and then they click student and their score disappears. And you just quickly do that with all of the papers. It may take the students a few times to get used to it, but once they get used to it, they get pretty speedy at grading their own. So once all the students have gone through and scanned their on-the-fly assessment, you're going to click back into Teacher and hit OK. And it tells you the name of each student and the score that they got. The next step is to click on Save and View Results. You get a chart of overall performance, so it kind of shows how many students scored within each score range. And you also get a distribution where it shows you the students, their grade, and the percent they got correct. So then you click on Save Assessment. For this one, I'm going to type in scientific method. And I'm just going to type the date, which today is 10/11/17. And I'm going to click on save. You can type a description if you want to help you remember. So that saves your answer keys. And when you go into assessments again, you list your assessments. You can see that it's saved in there for you. You can administer it again. You can preview it, scan, view results. So if I can't remember what the student scored, I can go back and click on view results. And it'll pop up what their answers were. So I kind of know what they might have gotten wrong. You can put it into an Excel sheet or a Adobe Flash Reader. And it's just a quick place for all of your assessments to be scored and saved. As time goes on, I'll have a bigger list of assessments that I can reuse with my students. And it's just a great way to keep all the data. If you click on the test, you get your overall performance chart there. You have your chart that shows you the lowest performing questions, what percent students got the question wrong, what percent got it right. It also tells you what percent were mastered or not mastered and what percent were mastered. Scroll down a little farther and it tells you the subgroups and how they scored. So for this one, Black and African American versus the white students, it shows how they did. So again, it's just a nice way to look at data, break things up. Right now, it's very new to our school, but we are being encouraged to do all of our assessments through this program. So eventually on students, we'll have a lot of good data, which will be perfect for trying to figure out if a student needs an IEP or needs special assistance with certain concepts. So it's an interesting program. I'm interested to learn even more about it, but that was an on-the-fly assessment, which I've already started using with my students.